Welcome back to another episode of Surprise Mama,
where we talk about the shit they don't tell you.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. Welcome to the Surprise Mama podcast.
There's a hair on me. Oh, where we talk about the shit they don't tell you.
Like that.
Yes. Like, you're just gonna have hair on you.
I don't know. Maybe some weird stuff.
Distraction?
Yeah.
Oh, what a terrible start. Hello.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
I'm Molly. I'm doing great tonight.
We're doing okay tonight.
Yeah, we're getting by.
We both had really long days, and so it's like coming to record and just talk
Yeah.
is a lot.
We gotta get in our groove.
We have to get in our groove. But what are we talking about right now?
Okay, so tonight we're gonna have a quick little convo about apps for tracking. So
Apps for tracking what, Molly?
everything, Ashley. So the reason we're talking about this is because I remember when my daughter was like, man, she was probably like 2 months old. I was still on maternity leave. You came over.
Yeah.
We were hanging out. Okay.
Yeah.
And we got to talking. Actually, I think this is when we started planning this podcast, and we're laughing hysterically in my living room. Okay, or maybe it was in the nursery. I don't remember. But we are like going back and forth, and we're talking about how effed up it is.
Oh my.
When you're in the hospital, and they're like, okay, so you need to like write down her poops, and you need to write down her pees, and you need to write down how much she ate and when she ate, and like, was the duration of sucking this long, blah, 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 blah. It's literally like, you're literally charting like a goddamn nurse, and you're like not coherent. It's so messed up.
And it's like they just gave you like all they give you is like a piece of paper and a pen.
And every nurse that comes into your room is gonna be like, oh well, yeah, you filled it out wrong.
Right.
That's okay. And I'm like, but the other nurse said that we filled it out wrong, so we filled it out differently this time.
Or they'd be like, oh, has she peed? And you're like, oh, I forgot to write it down, but I think it was like an hour ago. And they're like, oh,
yeah,
that's okay if you forgot. It's like,
and they're like, but next time. Sorry, we're not like shitting on nurses.
No, they're great.
The nurses that we had, I like loved them.
Oh yeah,
except for a few. But the reason we're talking about this is because when you get home from the hospital, you're going to take that sheet and you're going to throw it away.
Who needs it?
Okay, you don't need that drive anymore.
You still want to track stuff, but you don't need that little piece of paper.
You need to track things. The problem is like you don't want to do it by paper.
No.
And pen. Okay, we're not living in 1989. Okay, that was the year I was born.
We have this thing called technology.
Yeah. Apps. There's an app for everything.
There is an app for everything. There's actually multiple apps for what we are talking about.
Actually, there's so many. And I just remember we stumbled into the one that we're using. We're still using it, actually, full disclosure. And our daughter's 10 months old. Like, it's still handy. Okay.
Yeah.
We bought like a year subscription for it. We ended up just doing it. Okay. It's worth it, honestly. But like I remember Ryan and I were like sitting in bed. It's like day 4 of our daughter's life, maybe. Like, she's like 4 days old. We're finally home from the hospital, right? And our friends like texted us, and because I don't remember how this came about, but Ryan was like, there's this app that so and so told us to just use because it's a lot easier. And I was like, download it now.
Like, we need it right now.
Because we were like, literally, we remade the chart. Like, we wrote out a chart, like, using a ruler. Like, we were not thinking clearly. To, like, try to mimic what the hospital said. Because we were like, because you bring them home and they give you this booklet and they give you 8 hours of information in a 20-minute talk before they discharge you. Except our talk was like an hour. And they're like, here's everything you need to do. And you're like, it's just so much information.
Especially if it's your first baby. You're like,
what you're doing.
Also, I'm like, why am we were like kind of confused, like, why are we tracking this stuff? And then we were like, okay. Like, it made sense.
I just said no warning that we were tracking.
No idea.
I didn't know that I was going to have to like keep count of how many pees and poops or like wet and poopy diapers she had, and then like how much she fed. Like, I just didn't think about it at all
No.
before I had my daughter.
But I will say, because we'll go
Like-
into this a little bit more, but like, we stopped tracking pees and poops after like day 7.
Okay, so we kept tracking them because we just needed to in some ways.
Okay.
Then we stopped tracking diapers after a
Right.
while, and we tracked her feeding.
Right.
Okay, so some things taper off, and then they kind of come back in because like the app that we use, which I'll introduce in a minute, is like my daughter's had diarrhea for a couple days, so like I am keeping
Oh.
track of what kind of poop she's
Okay.
having, right? Because I'm like, I can't remember if she pooped 2 days ago or if
Mhm.
she had diarrhea 4 hours
That
ago
makes sense.
versus like an hour ago.
Yeah.
You just lose count because you're parenting and you're like trying to do a bunch of other things. So
Well, also too, it's like if you change a diaper and then Ryan changes a diaper, it's an easy way to communicate,
Yeah,
like
all
with
the
each
data's in one
other,
space.
right?
And like we still use it to track her sleep.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
So like if one of us is out of the house
Mhm.
or something, we can look at the app and be like, oh cool, she's still napping.
Right.
Or like she's still down. There's no turmoil at home.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be like, oh God, I gotta get
Yeah,
I better get back. Like,
Ugh.
which is a blessing and a curse,
Right.
probably. Because
Yeah.
you know, like sometimes it's better to not know. But like, yeah, you're gonna use an app for a multitude of things.
Right.
We've used it for different phases, like when we started solids, when she would do
Mhm.
an allergen food, like I would start tracking that
Yep.
because I was like, I can't remember all of this
Right.
stuff, right?
Right.
So there's all these different occasions where it really comes in handy.
Right.
Yeah.
So what did, 'cause we use different apps.
Oh yeah, what have you used?
So we used an app called Nara,
Okay.
and we'll put a link, and I really liked it because it was free.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to pay for
There's a
it.
free version of ours too.
And we used it a little bit for like the diapers, but like that was only for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And we mostly used it for feeding.
Yeah.
Because how my husband and I did feedings with our daughter is that like I would stay up for a little bit at nighttime and do like, take care of her, and then
Yeah.
he would stay up. So we each got like a lot of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to know like how much one or the other was feeding her.
Yeah, because you want to hit specific ounces
Right.
per
And
day.
I was pumping, so I wasn't always the one that was feeding her.
Yeah.
So it was nice having like that way of communicating through an app instead of like having to write a note or like texting each other.
Yeah.
We could just open it up and just see. So we used the feeding portion of it a lot, and then once she started to have more scheduled naps, that's because like also we would put her down for a nap, and there were so many times where I'm like, when did I put her down? I would just forget like what time. And I'd look at the app and be like, okay, she's been sleeping for an hour. I would just, you just
you're like,
forget.
it could have been 10 minutes ago.
Literally.
I mean, naps go by like
Yes.
that, right?
And so having something that like reminded me, and I will tell you, if you're with a partner, the app only really works if both of you guys are using it really well. Like both my husband and I use the app.
Like your app specifically, the Nora.
Right. No. I'm just saying like in general.
Oh, yeah.
Because like if I'm the only one logging stuff and he wasn't logging anything,
Oh.
it's just like not.
Well, what's the point of that?
Right. So I'm like, if
For your peace of mind.
if only one person is like really committed to the app, it's going to be a lot harder.
Right.
But like we were like really hardcore about it. And,
yeah, we're pretty hardcore.
And the other thing I like that you mentioned, what I really liked too, was when like Ashley got a little bit older, the nap, like the sleeping thing was really nice because I could just be like,
super clutch.
oh, she is still sleeping. I don't need to like. Not that he like needed me to be home when she was awake, but like,
well, it's kind of like we're trying to support each other,
right?
So it's like if she's been awake for an hour, I'm like, okay, clearly some shit's going down, and he might need a hand,
right?
Like that's not fair.
There were a few times,
like I'd be super like overwhelmed if that were me.
I remember there were a few times where I had gone out that night or something, and I would just check, and I'm like, oh no, she's awake. And Dev hadn't texted me, but I'm like,
because he's like, I got it.
Right. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he'd be like, I think I got it, but I might have to text you in a little bit. And I'm like, okay, just keep me updated. It's a nice way to communicate and just.
It is.
And eventually, we stopped using it probably around, I think 1.
Yeah.
When she wasn't using a bottle anymore, and her naps were like really consistent. Like we just didn't need to follow anything anymore.
Yeah. Cuz like when they need to hit a recommended amount of like ounces of milk per day or formula, however you're feeding, um it is so helpful to have a system to track that. And if there's abnormality in their poops, if they're sick, we use it when we administer medicine. Like it's just there's all these different functionalities to these apps, and they're all probably kind of similar at their core function. Right.
100%.
Functionality is probably like each app that you'd use for tracking will cover sleep. It will cover feeding, whether that's bottle or breast. It will cover solids. It will cover medicine. And ours even, like, we log, like, her growth chart in there, like, if she has, like, a milestone visit or, like, gosh, there's other stuff, like, even baths. Like, I write down when she's at baths
we need
because
to do that.
sometimes I can't
It's really,
but, like, I'm kind of a psychopath about, like, data, and I just like to know information. So, like, I also think it's helpful too with the sleep stuff because
it's so helpful.
sometimes I'm like, I have no idea how much sleep she got in a night or in a 24-hour period. And honestly, that becomes more and more important as you're trying to structure their sleep and do, like, sleep training, or, like, for instance, my daughter's in daycare. So, like, I'm very out of control of her sleep. And when I get her at the end of the day, I'm like, I log all that stuff when we get in the car.
So do they give you like a sheet or something? Or do they let you know what she ate and how much she ate, or like how much she slept while she's at daycare?
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
and
okay.
Like, the daycare that we're at right now, they log all of it by hand.
Right.
Because they don't want to be like on the app.
Which makes sense, yeah.
So they're like not on their computer or like tablets during the day. Like they don't have phones. I'm like, actually, I'm very cool with that. The previous daycare that we were at were like, they would update us throughout the day, and I would get updates. I'm like, here's how many ounces she drank. Like she woke up from a nap, which is cool. Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of helped me like kind of let go.
Disconnect a
and
little.
just trust them with that process.
Right.
And I also know that like my daughter's not looking at screens.
Right.
So, like, there's advantages to both. And so, like, yeah, I have to update everything at the end of the day. And I'm kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to walk into.
Right.
But it's super handy on the weekends. I love it for, like, the sleep tracking. And, yeah. So, anyways.
I was like, my parents would fill out, like, a little sticky note. Or, like, they would text me, like, at the end of the day and be like, here's what her... And I would add it into the... Because they were like, could you... They had said maybe you could add me into the app, but my parents also didn't really want to be added into the app.
Well, it's a lot. I mean, it can be kind of, like, intense.
Right. So what do you use?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So you use Nora.
Yeah, okay.
Nara.
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
I think it's Nara.
Oh, okay. We use Huckleberry.
Okay, I've heard of that one too. Okay.
So, I love Huckleberry. I sound like I'm advertising for them. I swear I'm like not getting kickbacks.
No, yeah, no.
But I swear by this app because, like I said, we have a subscription. Like we bought a year-long subscription.
So what does a subscription do differently than like the free version?
Let me tell you. So the free version's great. Honestly, the free version you can like track all that stuff in. Okay.
Right.
But what the upgrades give you, we just pay for like the middle package.
Okay.
I don't know. It was like maybe $50 for the year or something.
Oh, okay.
It's
like,
not
that at all.
not that crazy.
Yeah.
When you're like trying to sleep. And then there's like premium ones where like a sleep expert can literally like help you with sleep training.
Okay.
So the middle ground that like we work in for ours, I can't remember what the package is called. I should have looked, but it has this thing called Sweet Spot. Okay. Well, let me explain.
I know. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but it sounds amazing.
Sounds amazing. What's a sweet spot? Sorry, this is getting out of control. Okay. So,
Molly, what is the sweet spot
with the Huckleberry app, to be specific?
What a weird name. Sorry.
Well, out of context, you're like, that sounds very sexual.
Sounds...
Oh, sorry. I should have just, well, let me explain it. Damn it. Okay. the sweet spot tracker in the Huckleberry app that I use
Okay.
is this functionality where based on when your child woke up from their last nap, okay? I'm not kidding. This is so accurate. It's actually creepy, but it kind of teaches you your child's wake window.
Okay.
Okay. It'll be like you should put your baby down around this time.
So it's like kind of gives you advice.
Literally like you log the sleep and then on the home screen of the app, it'll be like Sweet Spot says nap at around 1:40 p.m.
Kind of amazing, actually.
It's actually sort of like creepy. The only time where I've found that that's inaccurate is when she is sick.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Because like
Yeah.
when your child's sick, like
Their nap,
sleep structure,
sleep,
throw it
sleep,
out the window.
eating, poops,
Everything
everything is different, very different.
non-structured.
Yeah.
You are doing what that baby says.
Right.
You are doing what that baby screams about.
Yeah.
And you're going to give them whatever they want
Yep.
so that they feel better. You might even buy them a new toy each time they're sick. We do sick toys. We might have to discontinue that practice because she's sick a lot.
Kids are getting a toy every week, so.
But, like, I can't help it. I'm
It
like
is
talking
fun.
thrift store, okay? For
Right,
like
right, right.
spending $2.
Right.
It's fine. So, but anywho, we use the Huckleberry app.
Yeah.
I really like it. I can put a link for it too. But I think you just like you could also try some apps.
Yeah.
In fact, I kind of wish that I had looked at an app or two before I had my baby.
I was about to say that. Check them out maybe before you actually have the baby.
Like play around with
Right.
them before you deliver and you're like delirious.
Because some might have an interface that you like better than others.
Yeah, there's different designs on them.
Mhm.
And I've like I'm sure that each of them have their pros and cons, but
Yeah.
like I've looked at some where I'm like, yeah, I don't like that.
Right.
I don't even like I'm weird. I'm like, I don't like the way that looks.
Right.
Like, yeah. So
Yeah,
the interface on some they're different.
Right.
And you might even pick one based on aesthetic. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. But the thing here that we're trying to preach is use an app.
Just use an app. It
There-
makes it easier. It does.
Especially to like if you are having, family members watch your kid and you guys could put them on the app to help.
You could.
I mean, we didn't, but like, it's nice because you can actually share things a little bit easier.
Yep.
Yeah, we used it
Yeah.
so much. So much.
So much. And every time I drop her off at daycare, like my daughter, or I'm like bringing her to babysitters, they're like, okay, when did she last eat? And I'm like, well,
Right.
let me tell you. And
Right.
I like, because otherwise I'd be like, well, she did eat this morning.
Right.
I couldn't tell you what time
Or how much.
because I was half awake.
Right.
But like, she ate.
It's like the
But
first
they'd be like, thanks.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
it's just like the first 6 months especially that I'm remembering. Especially if you're taking your kid to daycare or taking them somewhere to be watched, you yourself are already trying to track so many things.
You're trying to figure out like how to pack their bag. Like
Right.
there's 100 things that
Right.
you're thinking of every
Right.
morning.
So if you just have like something that is helping you remember, it is a game changer.
100%.
I mean, we use it so
Dude.
much.
Yeah, and you know what? Having accurate data when you're trying to solve a problem with your kid,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Right.
Like if you're someone that, works from that.
I know. I like
from that
data a
space.
lot too. So
I did too. And like I'm just like, all right, let me look at this past month. What's the average amount of hours that she sleeps during the day or the night? Or like how many ounces am I pumping?
Mhm.
Or that's the other thing I forgot.
Right.
I track pumping on mine
Right.
too, right? So like how many ounces am I producing at this stage versus
Mhm.
like 3 months
Right.
ago? I mean, you can kind of eyeball it and just be like, it's a lot less.
Right.
Like,
But it's nice to keep track of that kind of stuff.
it is. It's really great. So those are like 2 apps that we recommend.
Right.
But there's probably also cool ones out there that like neither of us have used.
Right.
So yeah,
Check them out.
anyways.
Also, it would be kind of fun if you're making a registry. I'm wondering if you could add like an app?
Like a gift card.
Yeah,
Or
but
like,
you just said like yours cost like $50 if somebody wanted to pay
yeah.
for that or something.
Oh yeah, because you can I know Huckleberry sells gift cards and they do like I think they do like sales
Okay.
at different times of the year.
Okay.
So they'll do like 20-30% off like an annual subscription.
Oh.
So like it's actually kind of a nice gift
Yeah.
that you could get somebody or
Yeah.
something.
Again,
Yeah.
check them out even before you need them. Just if you're like, hey, I want to use an app,
100%.
Google it, look at the different ones that are out there, and just figure out which one you think that's going to work, best for your family.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like, oh, I think I'm going to use an app. You're going to use an app.
I mean,
Trust me.
you should. You should.
If you don't, like, I mean, that's super old school.
I mean,
More
or
power
if
to
you don't want to track stuff, that's, again, totally fine.
I'm actually just genuinely wondering how they did it with us.
They didn't track stuff.
Like,
I can imagine. I should ask my mom.
I mean, I was the youngest of 4, so.
Youngest before they did not track anything for you, Molly.
Like, I think they were like, yeah, I think she ate.
Right.
Somebody fed her.
Right. Like, she probably slept at some point today. When you have that many kids,
No
it's just
wonder
kind of like...
No one was tracking my data.
So Molly's like, I really want everything tracked.
I needed my sleep to be tracked better. This is why I have so many problems.
So if you don't want your child to have problems, just kidding.
Just kidding. This doesn't solve everything.
This doesn't solve anything.
But it might help you feel more sane.
Right. I think it just helps with the mental load. It just helps a lot.
Mental load, yes.
Yeah. And it helps share the mental load with your partner. Because if they're
does.
also helping track stuff, you're not the only one. It helps so much too when Dev was like, I go feed the baby and he would just track it. That's great.
Yep. And it's been helpful for us too because like I remember there was a phase where I would get home from picking up our daughter from daycare and then I worked all day and then I got her and then we get home and my husband Ryan would be like, "Okay, so what do we need to do? Like when did she last eat?" And I was like,
check the app.
I was like, "It's in the app."
Right.
And so then we had the system where he's like checking it.
Right.
And he still does this. Like, he always checks it before we get home. And I don't have to, like, I'm logging the stuff because I'm the one picking her up.
But you don't have to communicate
But I don't have to communicate it. And I also don't have to do the mental math of, like, okay, this is what time she needs to go to bed tonight because this is, like, how little sleep she got. Or, oh, we'll have time to make dinner. So, like, he'll just start, like, making dinner. So, like, it is a great communication tool.
Yes.
It really is. Yeah.
Which you definitely need when you have a newborn infant stage.
Heck yes. Yes.
So anyways,
apps for tracking.
Apps for tracking. We're a big fan. If you have any more questions about the ones that we mentioned, or just like the idea of an app for tracking, email us at surprisemommapod@gmail.com or reach out to us at surprisemomma both on TikTok and Instagram.
And you can listen to and watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, and we're also on Spotify.
Right. Please follow on any of those. Like and follow.
Follow,
subscribe. Any of those things. It really does help out, oddly enough. So
it does.
Anyways, thanks for listening.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.